What's up, guys? Elko here signing in again. I hope you guys are doing well. Firstly, before I get into today's video, I'd like to apologize for the inconsistency lately. I've been caught up in stuff. But we're back. I believe from right now going onwards, we're going to be much more consistent with the video. But anyways, without wasting more time, I'd like to get into it. Right. So this morning, I was having a conversation with my executive, and we had a debate about something. In the debate, I said something that triggered his attention. I said that I still am big on education and not schooling. He thought I made a mistake. He thought it was an error of speech or grammar or whatever. But it wasn't, which leads me to today's video, actually, as the title states, education, or rather schooling versus education. Now, to understand this very well, I would require each of you to go and do some research on the origin of the schooling system in Africa. This was the Industrial Revolution time period, right? So the schooling system was introduced to us, to Africans rather, during the Industrial Revolution time period because they needed the people to act a certain way. They needed the people to know certain things in a certain manner so that in the end, you could go work in their mines and factories. So it was simple. You go to school, you learn, and at the end, you go work in the factories. That's what schooling originally, that's how it came about, And so the reason why I look at schooling as a different concept with education is I always like to say that between schooling and education is a gap I call practicality. I believe personally, schooling would be, as I like to say to my friends, a repetition of, learned knowledge. It's as if you're just learning things. When I say schooling, I'm referring to learning a bunch of definitions and a bunch of theories about certain concepts to look pretty in a classroom with fancy clothes and appear intelligent. That's schooling, right? Whereas with education, I look at it as something that is substantial, So I define education as the action of grasping substantial content to a point where you're actually able to apply that knowledge in real life and obtain real life solutions. Education is supposed to be something to apply in real life problems to get real life solutions. That's education. Whereas schooling, as I was saying, was simply quite the opposite of that. Penhall the Black Pen says something very important, and it was interesting when I saw it. He says, you cannot define success by how far you go away from your family. And the reason why I say that is because I would like to link that with schooling. Schooling is individualism, he added. Right? So when we send our children to school, or when I'm also being sent to school as I am, we actually send our kids to individualism. Because what schooling does is it gives you personally as an individual an honorary status in society. But something very important is very rarely with schooling do we get to solve actual real life problems. Whether you've got your PhDs or degrees or whatever, but you find out that as much as we've been to these schools, we struggle with very little problems. You'd see somebody who's a graduate in, I don't know, they've done their masters in medicine or whatever, but why are you unable to solve very basic problems back in your household, back in your community? Why aren't you able to help people get away from being victims of illegal systems in your community? Why are you not able to solve things such as trust issues in your family? Why are you the only one with an honorary status, but nothing around you benefits of it? Which is why, again, education makes a difference from that perspective. I think education helps you not only gain knowledge, but also apply it in a way that it impacts and, it has an effect on the people around you. So your family, your community, and everybody that is within your surrounding or within your circumference. So with that being said, I can never be against the whole idea of grasping knowledge, because I think we all acquire knowledge by the second or by the day. So always seek education, I would say, as opposed to schooling. We should always seek for education. because unlike schooling, education is rather substantial. And so if you've watched this video and you're wondering how to differentiate between the two in your personal life, well, it's pretty simple. I'm not saying go and now give up on whatever institution you go to for 7-8 hours a day, and because it's not education and it's schooling. It's pretty simple. Just try to do a little exercise, and here's how the exercise goes, right? Whatever school you happen to go, whether it's a university, college, campus, or whatever, how often has it happened where you've used whatever content you've learned or whatever knowledge you've learned at school? How often have you put that into practice in your personal life, and it was able to give you, as a result, a solution which you can actually say was substantial and that you still resort to, or that you still have memory of to this day? That's pretty simple. That's how you tell whether what you do is schooling or you gain actual education. Please do let me know down in the comment section, and yeah, let's talk.